click below to watch the original Sins video.
Apparently lots of fish are assholes and do eat other fish, so I guess the sin is not naming this restaurant Apple King.
The restaurant being called Fish King doesn't necessarily mean that they serve fish there.
How would all these signs exist underwater? How would they even be designed underwater? What fish has the hands to write, paint, or draw? How would the printing equipment work underwater? How does a fish drink Coke? And your answer for all these questions could be, it's an animated film, and then I'll kindly ask you to f*** off, and then gladly welcome you to the channel for the first time. Hope you stay a while, and meanwhile, I will add 10 sins for all this underwater advertising nonsense.
Well, the answer to your question wouldn't be, it's an animated film. It would be that fins in this movie are established to be just as capable of holding things as human hands are.
The movie confirms what I have long suspected, that eels are the most sexually exciting aquatic creatures.
Jeremy apparently has an eel fetish.
I suppose the joke is that he's trying to serve raw fish in the ocean, and the movie that also named a fast food chain Fish King seems to think this is a dumb idea all of a sudden.
As I said earlier, the name Fish King does not inherently mean that cannibalism is taking place. I'm pretty sure that's the weirdest sentence I've ever written.
As if whales don't have enough problems, there also seems to be a lobby in Hollywood pushing for them to be treated as transportation in animated films. I'm looking at you, Surf's Up.
Except that the whales in this movie are not being used as transportation, so this sin does not make any sense.
From now on, yous work for Frankie and Lenny. Gabish?
Lenny? Frankie, I understand, but Lenny? You can't be serious.
Man, what a get to have Robert De Niro and Martin Scorsese cracking wise with each other in an animated film. I bet all those 4-year-old Goodfellas fans were loving life.
What kind of blackmail does DreamWorks have on the entirety of Hollywood to be able to get the voice actors that they do for these movies? Robert De Niro is one thing, but Martin fucking Scorsese is another.
Wait, Pop. Lenny had an accident.
Wait, are you telling me the fish have actual bathrooms down here? I mean, I don't want to see that, but I kind of do. But I don't, but I kind of do.
Why do you want to see a fish taking a dump, Jeremy?
Just give me some time, that's all I'm asking. I'm begging you, Sykes, please.
So Hank, boss says we gotta come up with the next animated movie for the company, and I'm scratching my head trying to figure out what the kids want these days. Not sure, Vinny, but can I borrow $1,000? I owe my loan shark. That's it, Hank, you nailed it. Kids love movies about loan sharks, but what if we made the loan shark an actual shark? Brilliant, Vinny. So, about that 1,000?
First off, I should probably go ahead and add a sin for that voice. And also, the loan shark in this movie is not an actual shark. It's a pufferfish.
Just handing over the business. It's for you. It's for both of yous.
Now we've got a crime boss wants to make sure his sons are up to the task of handling the business after he passes on cliche. Seriously, who is this movie for? Because it's not for kids.
A kids movie having adult concepts does not mean it's not for kids. That just means they wanted to have something for the adults to enjoy as well. Because the kids will enjoy it just because of the silly fish antics and bright colors. I can confirm this because I was one of those kids. I loved this film when I was younger.
Oscar, did you kill that shark?
Movie wants us to believe that Ernie and Bernie believe that Oscar killed a shark, and that is a bullshit foundation to build your movie on.
The idea of Ernie and Bernie believing Oscar isn't what's stupid about this premise. It's everyone else believing him. Ernie and Bernie are clearly stoned 100% of the time, so I have no trouble believing that they would believe this.
Funeral scene does not contain black umbrellas. And if it was a funeral with black umbrellas cliche, would we still sin it? Yes! Yes, we would!
Wait, what? Was that self-awareness?
Why does this one area of the ocean have so many goddamn magazine options?
This part of the ocean is clearly supposed to be an analog to New York City, which has about 350 magazine options in it. This feels entirely within the realm of possibility.
Oscar was able to afford a penthouse apartment after people believed he killed one shark? Quint got either $10,000 or $13,000, depending on how you read that scene in Jaws, for killing a shark. Even with inflation, that means Oscar still probably didn't clear much more than $45,000. That's not nothing, but it's also not owning a penthouse kind of money.
Well, the sharks are a much bigger problem in this film than they were in Jaws. Maybe in that film, Quint only got about $45K adjusted for inflation, but he only killed a regular-ass shark. This would be the equivalent of killing a mob boss.
I don't forget anything, and I never forget who my friends are.
But you seem to have forgotten how you almost screwed everything up by taking the $5,000 Angie was nice enough to loan you and bet it on a 200-to-1 odds seahorse in a race. We are supposed to be rooting for Oscar, right?
Oscar has been a selfish SOB that's been impossible to root for the entire movie up to this point, yet only now do you decide to sin it.
Y'all kids got some skills.
They sure do. They've invented spray paint that can create art underwater. They should be the rich assholes living in the penthouse.
Where did you get the idea that these kids created the underwater spray paint? They're just using it.
You ain't know I had it in me, did you? It was like an Oscar explosion.
Foreshadowing.
What on earth do you think this is foreshadowing? Oscar does not explode at any point in the movie.
Whale Wash has a sign that says Whale Wash right next to the wash itself, which also has Whale Wash in large letters at the top of the building. One piece of signage in that area would have done the trick. This is why Sykes never has any money. He doesn't know how to manage his overhead.
Yeah, I'm sure those 2 signs were really expensive.
If Shark Tale wants to correctly parody American advertising, right next to this Coral Cola ad should be another ad for Pepsi.
After having spent half of this video complaining about fish-based brand name puns, Jeremy also complains when he notices an opportunity for a fish-based brand name pun that the movie did not make. Oscar claims to not be a shark slayer, yet he currently has 2 of the top sharks trapped right now. So why should the civilians be concerned about whether or not he's lied in the past if he's publicly displayed that he is completely capable of taking down sharks?
You've lost everything you lied so hard to achieve.
With the exception of all that money he made from the advertisements, maybe he can't live in the penthouse anymore, but he's not exactly broke.
Despite having lied to everyone and been a total asshole for the entire film, Oscar suffers basically no consequences for his actions. And no, I didn't take those last 2 cents from Schaefer Ellis Productions. What are you talking about?